Y'all, it's Deb Helfrich, hashtag Redheaded She-Hulk. Well, today is about paying homage to some of the influences that brought me to the point of being able to envision creating a movie about racial harmony, which unites my experiences with humans in Southern Africa. This is what we need, is more entertainment talking about right livelihood. I know you didn't see that coming, and you really won't see me coming, but then you're going to be so glad I came. Look, we've got all this entertainment about serial killers, about being in court, about being in the hospital, and all entertainment. But the thing that we all spend all our time on, and the thing that keeps us from committing crimes, being in the criminal justice legal system, having to end up in a hospital, is what we do for a living. And there's a concept called right livelihood. It's a Buddhist term that I think really appropriately talks about the fact that meaningful work is required for humans. Got the incredible Hulk arms. Do I know? Why did they get finished? So, the reason it's taking so long for me to reside in my spectacular failure phase of life is simply because I got to create all new stuff everywhere I look. Just even the English language. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of you thought I was talking directly to you, singularly. Many of y'all understood I was talking to you, plural. That's why I use y'all. Let's talk about the fact that we need you, plural, and y'all is a damn fine way to go. We. I'm always getting people always thinking I'm meaning we, like me and them, just together. The two of us. But I mean, like we, humanity. So, what this is all about, really, is Richard Shepard's The Matador, starring Pierce Brosnan and Greg Kinnear. That movie showed me it could happen. That movie showed me that you could create a piece for actors who you admire to explore being somebody they've not gotten to portray on film. Now, that's what I've ended up doing in a much more personal way. So Richard was like, I never thought, no, Pierce, I don't know. I didn't think any actor would play this. You know, he's constantly about that. And I'm sure that that's true. And I think in most of the industry, it's sort of that thing that, you know, you have to pretend to not have had actors in mind, when I can't imagine that most screenwriters don't have actors in mind. I mean, at some point, you might start flushing out the characters, and it's like a line, like he said, is one of the famous lines in the bar that sort of was the line came first, and then the characters who'd be saying and listening to the line, not walking away. margaritas and cock. The whole movie, The Matador, came off of him just randomly typing that. In my case, really, the movie Londolozy came into being because I'd originally started out to redo Julianne Moore, Todd Haynes' Safe. That's been my life. Ooh, there's a little collarbone coming out. And so I'm going to talk about multiple chemical sensitivity, kind of redo the movie from the perspective of me devising ways to get better. I don't know. Do these glasses work or not? So dialing down the tension for a minute because I'm fearing for my life. You know, just as I've lost 150 pounds, which should be enough, but I still got 25% of my 200 left to go. Say I'm 75% done with healing from my toxic mold exposure. And the last bit is always more challenging in every way. So, is humanity going to continue abandoning me, continue isolating me, continue ignoring the fact that I need help? I don't know. I'm not responsible for humanity in that way. I am responsible, however, for the training of the thinking, life-centered thinking. That's my job, #wellbeing philosophy. I'm good at it. It's not what you expect. That's why I'm good at it. Oh, buddy sitting through philosophy lectures, including myself anymore. It's a wonder I learned anything because I do now realize I had some pretty significant auditory processing restrictions. I could hear the sound, but to get the meaning to click into the part of the brain trying to make meaning from the sound, I'd also want there to be truth and logic in my analytical brain processing language. Why is everyone so illogical? Why is everyone not telling the truth? And I mean, not like, no, I'm not a serial killer lies. I mean, like, oh, that's so pretty. Oh, you look so good in that. You know, all these social conventions are things that when you're morbidly obese from an infant and nobody pays attention to you, you never succumb to peer pressure. That's been the gift of my life, never succumbing to peer pressure. People now say I'm fearless and bold, and, you know, I'm cool with that. But really, all I'm doing is stating my truth. And it is astounding how poorly adults in the US of hypocrisy can deal with an adult expressing her play. I mean, we could say a number of things: truthful joy, self-truth, inner child work, whatever you want, but I'm playing into becoming a one-woman improv monologuist. These Socratic monologues are worth expanding your attention capacity. Attention spans, we was goldfish before the pandemic. We now halved. I mean, I'm looking at adults and it's like 3 seconds 3 second. Me, myself, and I have an environmental condition, a nervous system condition that makes me very scared of global warming, of toxic chemicals, of home invasions, of dying, having been alone for 2 decades. Now, the first decade, I was working. That didn't solve any loneliness whatsoever, now did it? I mean, there's a lot of activity, there's a lot of human interaction. But what I said was bought and paid for by a company who has no idea I was ever there. This lie of capitalism contributing to some random company's bottom shepherd. I just got my connection unstable. Another thing I'm worried about. Internet just being turned off on me. Like, what causes this? This has got redness on my lips. I don't have any idea why that happened. It's called detox. Now, I don't really think I've ever seen that particular thing because there's no, there's the pressure of the pimple. It's just like got red at the top of my lip. So this is what I do. I'm utterly alone. I'm trying to save my own life. I'm doing so with a really astute mind. I start realizing that I've observed the interaction between my body and my mind in ways that I've never had a conversation or read anything. And other humans have the kind of dialogue with their own body that I do. I have a dialogue with somebody. Well, not so much obsessed with homeodynamic balance, but Matthew McConaughey, always be having Socratic dialogues with McConaughey. So I'm in good company. Now, Richard Shepard, The Matador, Pierce Brosnan, Greg Kinnear, Hope Davis. So it turns out, there was a director's commentary, and then there was a director, Pierce Brosnan, and Greg Kinnear commentary. Ooh, you so don't often get both stars. I wish Hope had been on it, to be quite frank. Like to see maybe we can do a 2021 version of get Hope to talk about the movie. Because that's the way things used to be. It's again, I mean, that movie won't be possible to make in a post-pandemic reality. So I'm glad it exists. My movie is tailored, bespoke for a post-pandemic world. That's what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for something in the world to show. We can't keep thinking in the same insane ways. So it was a $15 million movie back in 2005, I'll guess. It would have been 2006, 2007 when I got the DVD. How quickly I got it when. So 15 years later, the interesting thing from the commentary, I mean, so many interesting things. But number one is, the top 3 actors are precisely who he wanted. I mean, well, he didn't think once, but once Pierce came on, then Greg and Hope were shoo-ins. And then I think they actually had to keep Pierce from chickening out in a certain way and encourage him on, we will be there with you. As you're playing this assassin having a nervous breakdown. I'm over here having a real life nervous breakdown. This reminds me of Pierce's role in another film about rooftop meetings. Well, I think it's great to have went from Bond into these roles about humans who can't cope. Because very few of us are actually coping well. We're bullying. We can ignore that we are having trouble coping because we're bullying other people to just cope. So circular. And what I think is really, truly the case is right livelihood. I mean, the joy that this man had, Richard Shepard, in making this movie, comes through the headphones, even with my auditory processing disorder. To create something that is quintessentially necessary in all ways. That's what I'm after, creating. I'm about making Londolozi about uniting extremes. I think most especially famous and non-famous. Giving non-famous creativity the artisanal capital that it truly deserves. These ventures, this VC nonsense. VC is tulip mania. I just saw somebody who I was like, okay, I'm just about to unfollow, suggesting that NFTs are tulip mania. That is so not right. And it's again, the big PR panic about Y2K. Not for anyone in software, there's no panicking. But the effects of hyper-digitalization, the effects of all this inhumane tech killing us. Truly, truly, truly. So, over the last 2 days, supposedly sort of celebratory in the annual sense. Sunday evening, there was enough banging that it felt like I was going through a home invasion. And I became, digestive tract-wise, more in pain than I have ever experienced. I did have a friend. I was able to process that. I felt. I woke up, go to the bathroom. Not typical, but it happens sometimes when I change up my eating schedule, which is what I've been doing celebratory wise. And I felt myself really forward, it was in the pitch dark. So I had to go turn on the night light. And when I was walking, I was constantly, I'm thinking I'm walking this way and I'm drifting. And I came back and laid down and I was very dizzy. So just walking around, I wasn't dizzy, but I was drifting right. No matter what I was, I'm go through the door. These extra pyramidal system effects of toxic financial stress are why we need entertainment about right livelihood. And by right livelihood, in Deb's case, I mean getting back into fully embodied. I think that Londolozi is mostly about watching me entrain to Africans, to the pace of life in Africa. Because what's happened with my molded over analytical brain, being on the computer, is really difficult. Showing that, bringing neurodiversity into a lead character. Showing somebody get to be an entirely different person than they were destined to be when they turned 50. What I'll be at 55 couldn't have been imagined at 50. So now about 52. It's about. This is the edge of the cliff third act scene right here. White lady, privileged style. Will I get to have a voice that becomes a prominent anti-racist public intellectual? That's the goal here. That's not really the job description. Standout philosophy, which is very vibrant and sometimes childlike, very Sherlock Holmesian. People are cray. Let me just say that. The policies and procedures of the US of hypocrisy are killing humans. All right. Be well.